Hello.
Hello, happy Cyber Monday, Ian. Something that we
Ah,
probably both definitely celebrate.
that's right. I totally forgot about Cyber
Yeah, so
Monday.
did I. Did you do any Black Fridaying?
I did do some like first pass of gift shopping, but
Yeah.
it wasn't really like because of Black Friday. I wouldn't say
No.
exactly. It was like
Yeah, same.
kind of just in the mode and like, yeah, I'll pick up some stuff, but I wasn't like hunting for special deals or anything like that.
Yeah, me
I
either.
don't
I
know.
I don't even think I looked at one website for Black Friday. I just had stuff I had to do. Was just taking care of a bunch of kids. And
Bigger
I don't
fish
know
to
if Black
fry.
Friday's not exciting anymore or if I'm just old and crusty, but I have 100 unread emails in my inbox right now. I see the little tab up there, and I'm like, "Meh, I haven't checked a single one of them."
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's sales all year long now. I don't know
I
that
know.
Amazon does a thing in the summer. Like, I mean,
Prime
if I was
Day or
looking,
whatever.
yeah, I mean, if I was, I feel like the only thing I would actually care about is if I needed a TV. I feel like a
Yeah.
TV, they're still doing it's like, oh, Black Friday. There's actually still big sales on TVs that are real sales, but everything else, I feel like, yeah, all right,
Eh,
20% off, whatever. I don't
eh,
know.
eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I
So,
feel.
all right, not too exciting then.
No.
All right. Well, what was going on? We have a little follow up I don't want to miss, which is Jennifer had follow up on our tattoo idea where we were going to use some quick sponsoring followed by me running it up in poker to get
Right.
you a tattoo. So before we get too far in, I want to make sure we hear Jennifer's follow up to
Yeah, so Jennifer said if I got $750,000 to tattoo Laravel new on my
that.
body, she's cool
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Let's
She did
go,
say
people.
she doesn't want it to be somewhere super visible, but she was like, "For how much?" "Yeah, you can do that. That's fine." So, that
All
went about as I
right.
expected. So she's on board. So get your money in now. Become part of a great story. We'll live stream Ian running it up to 750, and then I'll live stream getting the Laravel new tattoo. Why not?
That'd be
So
awesome.
that'd be great.
Now, to be fair, nobody's contacted me about where to send the money yet. So
Shocking.
nobody's
That's
in for the
weird.
first 10,000. If we can get 5 people to each kick in 10,000,
That is so
then I can run it
strange.
up.
I'm
It is
surprised
strange.
that hasn't happened, and there's not more takers for that, huh?
I know we have some
You,
wealthy listeners. Come
we
on, people.
do. We could have two guys fund the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you follow? You probably don't because you're not on Twitter. And I
Mm.
actually don't follow him because for reasons. But there's an indie hacker, former indie hacker, who sponsored his wedding suit,
Okay. That sounds right.
and
I have not heard this.
it's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. To be
Right.
honest with you,
Yeah.
all his wedding photos, he has this suit on, and he looks kind of like a cheap NASCAR driver. Like
Right.
they sewed patches all over his suit, and it's like I feel real bad for his wife, but
Yeah.
I think he raised, and you're gonna laugh your head off at this. I think he raised like $10,000 and then spent five on the suit.
Oh, come on. If you're gonna do I mean, listen, you're gonna
I
get
know,
50, you're gonna pay for your whole wedding.
I know,
I'm
I
down
know,
with that. I think
I
that's
know.
fun. I think it's a fun little anecdote, whatever. Oh, our wedding was free. It's a great story. Like, this didn't even pay for our wedding photographer is not an interesting
I know.
story. Like, that's just stupid.
But it's gotten picked up in like Business
Uh,
Insider it's gotten picked up everywhere. It's
but
all
it's like,
over the place.
this all goes to my thing of like, what's the probability that this is going to lead to the success of his software? It's very low that
Oh,
you're going to convert
zero.
that. Right.
Zero,
Yes.
zero,
So,
zero. He now has a full-time job because his indie
oh, there
hacking
we
efforts
go.
did not succeed, which is fine.
Okay.
That's totally understandable. But it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So there is precedent
Okay.
of doing something stupid and getting paid for it.
Well,
However,
there's
a
lots of
million
precedent for
a
that.
million dollars is a little bit different than 10,000, where you immediately turn around and spend 50% on fulfilling the
Yeah.
stupidity.
Yeah. $1 million homepage. What a great idea from
Ugh,
the 90s or whatever that
could have
was,
been
right? Like,
us. Could have been
that could have been
us.
us. That's great. I love that idea. He didn't have to wear that. It was not in all his wedding photos,
Yeah,
you know.
forever.
Now, to be fair, wedding photos, I got a wedding photo story.
Okay.
When we got married, we didn't have a lot of money, blah, blah. Didn't want to pay for a real wedding photographer.
Sure.
So my boss at the time, I worked at a college, my boss's wife said she was a wedding photographer and would do it for cheap. Okay. So we're like $1,000, great, doing it. This person, she could not take a photo. Like she just didn't even know how to
Oof.
take a photo. There's not a properly exposed photo from our wedding. The best exposed photo is from my sister-in-law had like one of those like disposable cameras, I think, or maybe it was an early
Oh,
digital camera, whatever it
brutal.
was. Like that those are the best photos. And the actual photos, it's like everybody's fully dark, everybody's blown out. Like everything's grainy and fuzzy. It's the craziest thing ever. So
Imagine
that was
having
awkward.
that level of confidence. I wish I was that confident to be like, yeah, $1,000, I'll come do it. I don't know the
Yeah.
first goddamn thing about photography, but if you pay me
Nothing.
$1,000, I'll show up. I wish
Did
I wish I had that
I
confidence.
know. I these people with that confidence who are just like, "Yeah, I'll take the money. I don't care about what I'm delivering." Like, it's kinda like being a spammer, all those things, all
Yeah.
those great jobs. Like, where if you can just put the morals aside a little bit, you're just on easy street. But
Still one of my favorite Ian stories ever is when you sold oregano as weed. That's gotta be number one
just once.
top Ian story. You scam the people who are buying drugs, which honestly is like morally neutral, net, you know?
There you go.
You did a bad
It was
thing, but they were gonna
kids.
use drugs, and it's like, well, that kind of cancels out, and I don't know the cosmic balance of it all, but like I'm okay with that. This is a
Yeah.
great story. One of my favorites.
We were
Y'all
kids.
y'all search the archives to find that one. That one's gold.
Yeah, that was when we had less listeners, but, they were kids, we were kids. It was alright. I was technically just the getaway man driving the car. I wasn't actually doing the transaction, but, I
See?
in theory, still go
See, the
down for it.
scales even tip in your favor a little bit
Yeah,
because you didn't hand the
exactly.
oregano over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
Man,
bet.
all day now, I get reset your Venmo password SMS
I
messages. I
know.
get
I know.
SendGrid, your account's been compromised. Like, oh, man, it's like this is the golden age for spammers. It's just
I know.
relentless, constant
Yeah.
spamming.
I haven't logged into Instagram in maybe a year, and I get a password reset like once a month. I'm like, what do you guys want? There's nothing over there.
Yeah, that's so funny.
All right, Ian.
Mm,
It was Thanksgiving last week,
yeah.
and family stuff. Yeah, it's great, awesome. I also spent the whole week talking to you and John O'Nolan about AI. Just like all day, every day, I'm getting
Yeah,
telegrams. John goes to sleep for a second, and you and I have like a 40 message fight. I go into church, and you and John are like scheming up a 40 message thread. Like, I come out, there's messages everywhere. John wakes up. It's like it's the winter of AI over here.
yeah.
I think John pushed me over the edge to be
He
AI
has.
pilled.
He
Yeah.
has AI pilled you. You were so we go back and, like, check those episodes where
Check
everyone's like,
those
"The
episodes.
AI, nah, I don't know."
Yep.
Now, we basically have a channel that's just us. We don't talk about anything else.
We
We
don't talk about
just
anything
talk about
else.
AI. We pick
No,
John
no, how's your
O'Nolan's
father?
brain.
Just what's going on with AI.
John O'Nolan just keeps us in the loop on what he's doing. He never sleeps, period.
I
Obviously, he
don't
never
I don't
sleeps. The
understand.
guy lives in Dubai, but he's up all day long. I actually asked him in the thread. I'm like, "Are you still awake? Did you
Yeah,
wake up
are you
early?"
coming or going? And he's
Like,
like,
"Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
coming or
matter.
going?" Crazy, crazy,
So
but yes.
the Claude 4.5
Okay.
Opus 4.5,
Yes.
exceptional.
Oh, you're back. You're over back on Claude now. Okay, we're on Claude.
Exceptional.
It's very
So
good.
I think Gemini 3 and Claude 4.5 came out like within days of each other.
Mhm.
And on last episode, you and I talked about how I used Gemini 3 to build out the majority of database school, and it was just fantastic.
Yep.
I stand by that. And I think after that episode, maybe I signed up for Claude's Max plan and
Mhm.
just started ripping through some stuff with Opus 4.5.
Yep.
It is similarly exceptional.
Yeah.
And I think Claude, I use the first party native CLIs. I don't
Yep.
use Cursor, I don't use open code or I actually don't use anti-gravity. I tried it once and it was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, thanks for typing the word hello. Now you're out of tokens." And I'm like, "I don't understand what's
Yep.
going on here." So I use the Gemini CLI and the Claude Code CLI. I think the Claude CLI is slightly like more sophisticated, better, better like slash
Yeah.
commands that has like a better, agentic harness around it or whatever.
Hmm.
But both of those models are just awesome and they're
Yeah.
doing great work. I'm excited. I'm like picking up I started picking up some old open source stuff that I'd neglected and just like let it rip on it.
Oh, great
And was like,
idea.
"Hey, here, can you go look at this?" And like, here's what I think is going on. Here's the areas I know that I've neglected. Here are the performance like things that I know that I need to look at. Can you just go like plan it out and then let her rip? And it did. And it's like, it's great. It's awesome. I'm
Wow.
having a lot of fun.
He's having fun. Yeah, using that on your open source stuff is a great idea. Plow through these pull requests, see which ones are
Yes.
bogus and real. Like just discard the bogus ones. Don't even worry about it. Okay,
Yep.
the real ones do the work. I'll check it out. Whatever. Yeah,
And this
both of
is
them
this
are
is
very
where
good.
having a huge test suite is awesome. Because
Mm,
I can be like,
yes.
"Hey, rip this thing apart and then run the tests until it works." And then I can
Yeah.
of course verify it didn't just, comment out the test. But having the test suite is incredible.
That's an interesting area where, like, I don't have anything that's just code. That's
I
just like
know.
raw logic code. I would like to have a project like that in that sense of like, I feel like for that, the AI is super phenomenal. Every single thing I do is just, it's always tied to the UI where it's a little rough. And also you're just trying to make sure that stays all perfect. It's not like just not just about the test and if it works, right? It's like, does it look
Right.
janky? Does it work janky? Like there's other stuff involved that
Yeah.
requires still a lot of human input. But yeah, to just have like this is a library. You know, if you put X in, Y should come out.
Mhm.
And now you can just plow through adding features, fixing bugs, and like you got the test, you know it all still
Mhm.
works. Like that's glorious for the AI right now. Like
So
that's at
I
the sweet
I
spot.
I have that process runner solo
Hmm.
that package, and one of the things I spent a lot of time on back in the day was setting up tests that actually take screenshots of my
Mm.
local terminal running. So like you have to run this set of tests in iTerm. You basically have to run it on my computer and it takes screenshots to
Yeah.
compare like
Uh-huh.
because a big part of this is did it render the same did it render the way that it should?
Right. That still has the UI stuff. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how to like I can compare some characters, but the characters are actually slightly different and I don't care. I just want to know, does it look right?
Right.
And so having like screenshot level tests where I can say, "Hey AI, I've like taken all the screenshots and like written that like this set of code passes because I verified that the screenshots work. Now you go and like refactor everything under the hood and just make sure that those like fixtures still validate." And it is just like it's gives me so much confidence that it's actually working. It's been a lot of fun. And so I
That's so
like,
cool.
I'm Wednesday I guess Tuesday was my last full day in the office, and
Mm.
from Wednesday through yesterday, Sunday, I had like, nap time and post bedtime. Those are my work
Yeah.
blocks. If I
Mhm.
if I want to work, if I want to do literally anything else, those are my only two, blocks. And
Yeah.
so I just had my computer open with the agent and every time I like, there was a downtime, I'd walk over and be like, "All right, hey, now look at this, go." And then I'd walk away. Like literally 30 seconds. And
So
then it
cool.
goes and works for like 15 minutes and then I come back and I'm like, "Yeah, you can read that file. Boom, go." And it's just yeah, it's crazy. I feel like an AI bro, but it's like I feel excited about it. I think it's working.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. There's so much software out there too that's like that you just can't justify human time on, you know? And it's
Yes.
like the trade-offs aren't worth it. The money's not worth it. Whatever the scenario is, the time, effort's not worth it. But it's like this is just going to open up all these opportunities for these other sorts of little edge case software, little open source things that you don't have to offload and kill off because yeah, you know what, I can maintain this thing in like 5 minutes a month
Yep.
now instead of,
Exactly.
you know, even 2 hours a month, which is too much because you don't have 2 hours, but you have 5 minutes. And so yeah, all that stuff is super cool. Yeah, I feel like it's all making sense. And there's just so much software to build. People, you don't need
So
you
much
still
to
need all the
build.
developers, but then this is on top. Now everybody's being more productive. You can do more stuff. I know that's still up in the air, but you were up in the air about that. But I think you come around to that. You are more productive with AI. It's
Yeah,
not perfect, but
I'm
you are.
definitely more productive. I think
Yeah.
my macro take on the whole thing is I think unfortunately, I don't know when I would ever want to hire a junior developer.
Mm,
I think that's probably the worst part for, like, the
mm,
macro, because as I'm doing this, I'm able to communicate to the thing, like, "Hey, let's set up," in your head, you've got all these, like, architecture patterns and, like, "Hey, let's, abstract it this way, and let's set these things up over there, and let's use this service that I'm aware of and use this method," and it's like, I just don't know what I would ever need a junior developer for anymore. I would probably, if I needed it or had the money, would hire a senior developer to kind of do the same things that I'm doing, which is talk to the machine at a high level. But I don't think I would need a junior developer to go in and just like, hey, build out this filament admin panel. Like, what do I need that for?
yeah, but see, I think that this is a bit of a fallacy, I would say, that comes out of this whole thing because when you're like a small company, you never would have hired a junior developer. I've never hired a junior
Correct.
developer
True.
ever.
True. True. True.
So even when we only had humans and no AI, in 20 years, I've never had a junior developer
Yeah.
because it's like they're not that useful. They are junior. And the problem is when you're a small company, hiring somebody who's not that useful and needs a lot of handholding is not that useful to you as the I'm trying to offload stuff that I do.
Yeah.
I probably can't offload it to somebody who doesn't have a fair amount of experience. And so the junior developer is sort of useless to me. So that's why I think that it's different at a bigger company where you have like more stuff going on. You have layers of management and layers of senior devs. And I still think they're going to need junior developers. Maybe not as many,
Mm,
maybe a different mix. The mix might be a little more towards like the junior devs are in there with the PMs more than they might have been in the past. The junior devs are on the support side and sales engineers. And like there's all these kind of roles that still require more human contact than the raw coding. But I still think there's going to be something similar to that at the right size organizations, not a small
maybe.
organization because you never wanted them anyway. But
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
in
I just
yeah,
don't see how one, I don't see how juniors acquire these skills that like
yeah,
you and I have of thinking about the bigger, architecture and
hmm
patterns and problems. And two, I don't see what even a relatively modern big company would need a junior developer for. Like an old school bank where they don't allow AI or don't even know that it exists yet. Sure, yeah, fill up the bullpen with code monkeys and like turn them loose. But I
yeah.
don't know. But
I don't
can't worry
know.
can't worry about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I didn't go to school for software development and whatever. And you didn't go to school for software development, right? And we still like worked backwards into it. And I feel like now maybe that's even more the path, right? You start
Yeah,
as a junior PM and then you have some AI tools that let you build some stuff and you're building stuff. And then you're like, why doesn't this work? Right. Which is how that the kind of stuff that got us started. Why doesn't this work? I want to be able to do this. Then you figure out how it all works and blah, blah, blah. And then you go forward. And now you're like, well, I mostly want to do the dev. I actually don't want to do the PM stuff anymore or whatever. And so
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, but maybe you're also a junior dev for less time. Like maybe junior dev is just a stepping stone that ends quickly because you can level up faster is another aspect of it. And or you
maybe.
don't have to learn so much of the minutia because the AI is going to paper over the most minutia, of the minutia. And like now you're mostly on this a level up from that.
Boy, what a
But
turn! What a turn! Just
there you go.
big pro AI guys now.
So everybody should have a back channel with John O'Nolan, I think is the takeaway, where he
I think that
fills you
is the
in
takeaway.
on all the AI going on. I so in terms of Claude and Gemini, I've been going back and forth. I do like the Claude CLI still the best to
Yep,
me. I still like it the best. Just that it's just software interface wise, it has a nice feel to it. Forget even the model and what it does. There's something about the feel of how it works that I
yep.
enjoy. So, okay. I moved back to Opus for most of my coding stuff, but what I've been primarily working on, as I've talked about before, is the new HubSpot website, which I've
Yep.
been reiterating on, different things like that. And Claude's still not there in the design. I tried this design skill thing that whatever, it's better, but it's still Gemini is way better at design still, I think. I think it's clearly a lot better. So it actually over the weekend, I went back and forth with Gemini quite a bit and got the design really nice shape, I think, at least for my purposes.
Now, are you
And
using
yeah,
any like? Does Gemini have skills or plugins or anything, or is this just raw Gemini?
this is just raw Gemini.
Okay.
I ended up having to do so basically the command line Gemini doesn't work for me for various reasons. I tried to give it the API key, that wasn't working. I was like, all right, let me just do Ultra because Ultra gets you 3 on the Gemini thing. So I did
Yep.
Ultra in our Google Workspace, but Gemini CLI doesn't actually support that yet, only individual Ultras. But I don't really want to buy it on my individual because, like, whatever. Now it's like another login for AI shit. Like, so I'm just in gemini.google.com or whatever that is. And so the UI, the like ChatGPT style UI of
Oh,
Gemini.
wow, you're on the web.
Yes, I'm just through the browser.
Whoa.
But actually, it's really good. You can actually access Nano Banana through there, which is very useful if you want
How's
to
it
draw
interacting
stuff.
with your code?
It's not, but I didn't care.
You're just dropping it in. You're cut and paste and let's chat about it.
So what I ended up doing here was I gave it a bunch of things I want, and I was like,
Man.
just read the current HubSpot website to get a flavor of what this thing is. Because I don't really want it to. I don't care about it building out the pages. Like I'm doing that in Claude in my local dev.
I
I
see.
want design of Gemini.
Okay.
And every time I try to have the AI design in place, that's where I started. Was like what I've already done on the new website, design in place. It gets too confused with what's already there. It doesn't make radical enough shifts very well. So I just wanted it to build the full HTML file on its own,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing anything about my current components or anything like that. And so I did that. I did a couple iterations. The first one was like, man, I was like, maybe this isn't gonna work out. Second one was a little better. So I tweaked it. And then the third one, it like nailed it. And it was great. And so now I can just go through and be like, okay, build an FAQ section for this in this style, right? And so we just have one single HTML file. It's building that thing out with all the different types of components, just as a design. And then I'm taking that, just copy and pasting the full source of that, going into Claude. I mean, okay, Claude, like now implement the FAQ section from this mockup. Take it out of this mockup. Just I'm giving it the whole mockup every time, but it's able to figure out, pulls it out, implements it. Great. And it's in the code. So that keeps Claude on track. Just update the one component at a time. Gemini's my designer, doing design. It's going good. So
What a
very cool.
brave new world.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
This is the designer I've always wanted. See, this is the thing. Every time I've ever hired a designer,
Here we go. This
just,
is going to
you
be an
know,
all-timer.
it's
This is
just-
going to be great.
it's not
Every
their
time.
fault. It's not their fault, but
Every
here's the thing.
time.
It's kind of like junior developer. I don't have enough work for a designer, right? So I
Right.
can never like get a designer's real attention. It's just
Yep.
like, right? They're like, I'll do it for you in 3 minutes here and there, right? And it's like, I don't want to pay $50,000 for design to get somebody's real attention.
Yep.
And I can't hire them to get their real attention. So when you're this small company or sort of in this no man's land of like
Yep.
design, and so you could use all those one-off services, fine, but then you're not really getting a lot of back and forth. Like inevitably you hit problems when you actually go to implement this
Real
thing,
world
and
problems.
yeah, then that person's gone and you can't get a hold of them, right? So like
Yep.
it never works out nicely. Whereas this works out very nicely because I'm like, just keep doing it. And obviously all the human stuff of like, I'm not going to tell this person to redo the design 10 times.
Right.
But Gemini, I can just tell them, no, this sucks. Do it again. Do it again.
With Gemini,
do it again,
you
do it
can
again.
say, make it pop. You know,
Yes,
make the logo
exactly.
bigger, and it's going to be like, yes, sir, right away, sir.
Exactly.
It's great.
So
I love
that
it.
part's great. So for the design, I do enjoy it a lot.
That's interesting, using the
Yeah.
web chat for design and then just
Yeah, it brings up
taking it
like
over to Claude.
it brings up like a canvas. I would have preferred to do it in the CLI and probably just had to do on my local machine and go back and forth, but I couldn't get that to work. So it's been fine. I mean, the canvas, it could use a few more tools. Like you can't make it take over the full size of your screen. And so like I was
Yeah.
working on my laptop, so it's in this like semi-mobile view and whatever. So there's still a couple weird things, but for my purposes, it was fine because I didn't need it to be perfect there. I just needed to get the vibe right there and then bring it over into the actual code. And then Claude's fine for like, hey, tweak this, make that bigger, make
Right.
that smaller, whatever. It's good with all that stuff. So yeah, that was my Gemini run, and it was good.
It's
Good.
crazy.
Gemini, Claude, you gotta have all the AIs though. That's the
I'm
thing. You
paying
gotta-
$400 a month now.
Yeah.
I'm paying for, I guess Claude's maybe $100. I forget
The
what
max
Claude
is
Max
200
is.
if you're at the top. I don't know if you're in the middle or the top.
I think I'm definitely at the top. The max plan, yeah, pricing, max plan. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think that's what I pay is $200.
Gemini
a
Ultra
month.
through the business was only like 100. It's on some sale.
It's on some
whatever.
goofy sale that you can't
Yeah, so
figure
it's
out.
100 something.
And it comes with YouTube Premium, which I already had on my personal account. And so it's like, hey, you have 2 YouTube Premiums now. And I'm like, Why?
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't.
know what
What am
I'm
I
supposed
supposed
to
to
do
do with
with
that?
that. I haven't even looked into it. I'm like, whatever. I am paying on that same account. I do pay for YouTube Premium, but I'm like, I can't figure this out. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm on the max plan.
But yeah, so I have Claude Max. Now I have Ultra. I did downsize my ChatGPT a couple months
So did
back to
I.
just the Pro,
So did
whatever.
I.
So that's where I'm at on my AI payments currently.
Yep.
Still trying to stay native. I know there's all these other tools, Factory, whatever, blah, blah. There's a million of them. I don't know. I don't want to get. It's hard to
I
get so
know.
involved with all these external tools, and then it's going to inevitably go out of business because, like, everybody, the core companies are just going to want you to use their stuff, and at some point, maybe even make it impossible for these tools to
I
let
know.
you to run. So I don't know. And they're doing a good job. Like Claude CLI, like we said, is
Claude
I
CLI is
think the
great.
best.
I have
So
no problems with it. So I want to hear how you're using all this newfound power to do Laravel new on outro. But first, it's sponsor season.
woohoo! It's a big month.
It's a big month. All the friends came through for December. We're going to be able to put food on the family.
The people, you all listened. Thank you, listeners. You came through. You were like, you know what? We get advertising with mostly technical is a smart use of our advertising dollars. So let's go. We're going to do a couple new ones here. So, first off, super duper friend of the show, Titan at titan.com. We build and rescue web apps and dev teams. So, great, very well known Laravel web consultancy. Check them out over at titan.com. Nusi Proposals. Nusi is proposal software built for developer agencies and high-end SaaS sales. Get real-time notifications the moment your prospects open your proposal and know exactly when to follow up to close more deals. Try it free at nusi.com. That's NUSII.com. We have TL Draw, one of your favorites. TL Draw. Ever wanted to build an app that works kind of like Miro or Figma? You know, an infinite zoomable multiplayer canvas, but in React with normal React components right on the canvas? Good news. TL Draw is the world's first, best, and only SDK for building infinite canvas applications in React. Get started for free at tlddraw.dev/mostly technical. And finally, OG Kit takes a plain HTML snippet on your website and turns it into an open graph image when someone shares the page. Of course, using all your existing CSS, fonts, and assets. Check them out at ogkit.dev. Thanks to all the new sponsors this month.
Whew! Sponsor season. All right, so I got a couple
Yes.
of notes.
Mm,
OG Kit is Peter Soom, and I have installed that on Database School as a full freight paying customer, and it's great. So I
yep.
get custom OGs for all of my videos, which is awesome.
No, it's really cool.
Nusi is a friend of mine, bootstrap company for like 1,000 years. I think it's like more
Mm,
than a decade old, which is very, very impressive. And then TL Draw. TL Draw. Do you remember when I spoke at GitHub Universe years and years ago?
yes.
TL Draw was one of the examples in my talk about publishing your work increases your luck. This is like
Ah,
5 years
wow.
ago or something. And he
Holy
was
cow.
just beginning the TL Draw journey. And he had just like announced that he went full time. And he was like one of the 3 examples I used of how just like tweeting a bunch can change your life. And now it's here. Now he's sponsoring us. It's all
I
full
didn't
circle.
I didn't realize that tool was that old. I thought it was like just a couple years old or something. I didn't actually realize it's been around that long. That's
Yeah, I don't
cool.
know how long he's been doing the like SDK for sale
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
But I know that he's been working on the perfect drawing tool for a while. And I remember saying back then, I have no idea what I would ever use this drawing tool for, but I like this guy's passion, and so I follow him. I remember saying that, and now I use TL Draw all the time. That's what I
Yeah.
use in my YouTube videos.
It's so slick. I mean, it's a cool way to monetize this kind of free. I think they have a paid plan
Yeah.
too, right? I think there's a paid plan for Taildraw, but it's really cool to have this SDK, which I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to do this kind of thing, I can't even imagine how much code and weird edge
Oh,
cases are
good
involved in doing
lord.
that. So you would definitely just want to buy that. So
Good lord, I
yeah.
can't imagine. So big December.
Big
Feels good,
December.
man.
Yep, yep. We'll have to have a towards the end of the month, we'll do a, we made it set a goal, and we'll see if we reached our goal for ad sales,
That's right.
this year, so. All right, what else is going on? I have some drama at Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if you want
Well,
to hear about my Thanksgiving dinner drama.
I wanna hear about outro before I hear about Thanksgiving drama.
I got no outro updates, 0, haven't
No
done
updates.
anything,
No
no
Laravel
updates.
news?
I have not okay, so I have a
Here
product I
we
want a
go.
Laravel new.
And you
Um,
haven't. What is this
a new
restraint? This is the age of
because I'm
AI.
so far behind and everything else, I
No,
can't
turn
do
an
it.
agent loose on it. Don't even look at the code. Just have Claude just like YOLO it and see how far it gets.
Should I share the
It's
idea on here? Do we wanna
pretty
talk about
good
the idea?
idea.
No, I don't wanna
Yeah, this is
YOLO it. It's
content.
too
It's content.
complicated.
We need the content, Ian.
Alright, here's what's happening. This has happened forever, and I've been fighting this
Yeah,
forever, which
yeah. This is
is
a good setup. I love it.
fake
Yep.
spammer people of
Yep.
various levels of sophistication
Sure.
sign up for your trials and
Mm-hmm.
try to do stupid stuff with your B2B app. They're trying to
So
send
stupid.
emails, they're trying to make SEO spam, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And most annoyingly, honestly, is that they're like fake messing up your data.
Yep.
Like there's like, we had 1,000 signups, except 920 of them
Mm-hmm.
were like email spammers trying to like see if they could crack something, right? And it goes in waves. Sometimes you get none, but then you get put on some forum somewhere, and then people are coming after you again, whatever. It stinks. So we've had some basic tools for this forever. Some countries we just straight block because we don't sell in them and they produce a lot of spam, but it's still not ideal because like there could be good paying customers in those countries that I
Mm-hmm.
would prefer not to block.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so a more recent development I've done is to use the AI to
Yep.
say, do things like, hey, like, does this organization name make any sense with this email domain?
Ah.
Does this, various different things along those lines, like the subdomain they picked for their hosting account. Like, does that make sense with the org name, with the email
Mm.
domain? Just in general, like, is it just a bunch of random characters that aren't real words and seem probably fake, or are they
Mm-hmm.
real? And this works pretty well. I would say since I built it in like a day, a year ago, it's not fully realized. There's probably too many false positives, I would say. Nothing extra gets through, but sometimes real people get blocked,
Yeah.
which is not ideal. There's also a lot more stuff you could do. Like you could be checking the domain itself. Is this active? You could go make an HTTP call to the domain and be like, what's on this URL? Is it a blank page? Is it a hosting, just an empty, hosting thing from GoDaddy? Or is it a real website with real content that looks legitimate? Like the AI could let you do a lot more as if a human was checking without the human checking. There's also a bunch of stuff you could do. Whatever, you could have obviously additional rules. The MX record checks, whatever. There's a lot of like just things that aren't AI you could do too, and then there's AI stuff you could do. Um, so I've wanted to build this tool forever, and I don't know if again, it's not a tool I know if anybody would pay for. I would pay for it because it's super annoying. And would I pay $49 a month to make this thing go away and send me a nice email that lets me click a link and say no, this trial's real? I would pay for that. So this is my other idea, the trial defender.
The
Um,
trial
yeah,
defender.
trialdefender.ai. I got the domain, don't
I
worry.
love it. Trial
Uh,
defender. That's
yeah.
great. You got a little courtroom motif going on. So
Yeah, you
then
got
you send off all that data, the domain, the email, any extra stuff to trial defender, and it
yep,
it runs its calculations and comes back with a score that says probably spam,
right.
probably not.
Yeah, I think you have some kind of like right now it works a little differently, but yes, if I built it as a product, it would have
Mm-hmm.
something like low, medium, high risk levels, I think, and then it could return also like the specific risk checks that failed and what each score was. Then you could on your side decide, oh, like I don't care about this or I do care about this, or there could also be settings for such things like if this thing fails, always fail them. If this thing fails, I don't care. Obviously, you have all kinds of settings and tweaks. But yeah, so I think it's just an API endpoint. I think there's other even fancier stuff you could do, like in the version 2 would be like, well, maybe there's a little JavaScript thing and that fingerprints the user. And it's like, did they actually navigate your website or did they just show up at your trial form and just fill out the trial? Because that's probably bogus because nobody really does that, right? So, there's a lot of layers here of stuff you could
You got the
do.
Max plan. You've got Claude Max. You've got
But
tokens to
see,
spare. Just let her rip, baby.
this is the thing that AI doesn't fix yet, and I don't think it's gonna fix for a long time, is I know the code is irrelevant to me. It's like
I agree.
all the overhead of the work involved in launching something and running it and maintaining it and keeping it up
Ah, that's
and
fair. Okay.
selling it
All right.
and
All right.
support.
I agree.
Like, that's all the stuff. That's where like everybody thinks this is what every all these software developers listening right now are like, oh, I'm gonna get the side project and I'm gonna make a bunch of money because I'm coding up right now. The code's the least important product. The
I
product is
agree.
almost not even important. Like all the other stuff is how you get rich selling software. So
I agree.
that's the part. Even though the part we enjoy is the building of the software. Like that's the most fun is the building of the software.
How about this?
But
How about you let her rip and
yeah,
you just use it internally as the API
one shot it.
you've always wanted?
Well, I would definitely do that first, of course. Yeah, have it replace my thing. Could I
Then
let
that
go enough to
removes the
let it one
mental
shot it?
overhead.
That'd be interesting. I don't know if I could one shot it, but
No,
could
I
it
don't
do
know. I
a
don't think I
yeah,
still don't think one-shotting is real.
it's not a thing. Yeah.
I don't think it's a thing. I think
Yeah, I
it's
don't
a
know.
Twitter lie.
Anyway, I don't know if I'm ever gonna build this thing. It's literally something I wanted to build for 17 years. It's one of these things that like we hit this very early with
Yep.
all these spammers and then just years of them
That
beating on me.
that's what I'm finding with this like these new models is the things that I've wanted to build for so long and have they've always been below the line of justifiable in terms of
Right.
time is like, why not? Let her rip, see what happens. And then if it's
This
like
is
totally wrong, you just say, hey, this is totally wrong,
right.
completely redo it. And then you come back in an hour and see what happened.
This is one of my things I do want to start doing more with AI because I have not actually used it hardly at all for like build me a little tool that makes my
Yeah.
life better in some way,
Yep.
whether it's personal or business or whatever. I haven't hardly done any of that at all. And this could be like obviously if I take it down from like make this a product you sell to
Yeah.
build an internal tool that's just for me, well, gets rid of whole huge chunks of
Yep.
complexity and all that stuff. So that would work. So that's a possibility. It could, and I already have the core. I have the corest core of like the core prompts and some stuff. You can kick it off. I did go back and forth with ChatGPT a little bit on some basic like how do you structure kind of like the idea of different risk checks and blah blah blah. So it's obviously even that gets more complicated once you start to get into it and add different types of checks beyond just the AI check. But yeah, that could happen. It's not going to happen anytime in the very near future, but it's possible something like that could happen.
All
Potentially.
right.
I'd be curious to hear if you're out there and you actually have trial signups and this irks you, ping me somewhere. Or write a YouTube comment, whatever you want to do. Email into the show. Mostlytechnical.com has our email. Go there, write in the show. Let me know. Speaking of which,
If you have trialdefender.ai, you have to have an email of Jackie Childs at Trial Defender. Just I don't know if it goes to
that would be
you. I don't
hysterical.
know if it goes
Yeah,
to some sort of inbound agent, but
that would be funny.
having a Jackie Childs reference in there that would just be top.
You could have like a bunch of different famous real and not real
Yep.
lawyers just
Wasn't
have emails.
Kardashian? Wasn't he like
Yeah,
OJ's defender?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So we have Johnny Cochran, which
Yep.
isn't the
There you go.
Kardashian, but
Right.
yeah, yeah, that would be fun. You could have some fun with all that.
You can have some good content there.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that's my content.
What kind of drama did you get into?
Okay, my drama is kind of drama-y.
Is it real? Is it like real drama-y?
Yeah, it's actual drama.
All right, let me read some ads because that's quite a tease. This
Yeah.
episode is brought to you by Bento. Bento is the email service provider that we use for database school. I don't have to say try hard anymore. It is the email marketing and CRM platform that teams actually love. Jesse has been out there defending Black Friday from spammers. So thank you, Jesse. You can find that at bentonow.com. Also brought to you by Flare by Spotsy, our friends over at Spotsy, all in one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. You can find that at flareapp.io/performance-monitoring. And by IttyBit, which sounds like itty bitty, but is different. IttyBit, media API for developers, convert, compress, and extract intelligence data from your video, audio, and image files with just a few lines of code. You can start processing for free at ittybit.com. So if you don't want to figure out FFmpeg incantations, you can check out IttyBit. Thanks to Bento, Flare, and IttyBit for sponsoring. Okay, palate cleanser with a couple of ads. Now we're ready to move into drama corner. What happened?
Real world drama.
Oh
So
no!
it's Thanksgiving Day. Normally, we go to my aunt's in the city, but, none of her kids were coming home, so everybody's adults now, whatever, they weren't coming back for various reasons, so we decided to host since most of the people who go to the Thanksgiving in New York City actually are from near me, so we just okay, my aunt came up to us, and my cousin and the rest of us were, at my house. Okay, great. So we order the food for the most part, that all turned out very nicely, blah, 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 everything's great. People arrive, we start off, we're not eating dinner yet. My mother goes outside to walk her French bulldog she has, and the neighbors aren't home, and they have a dog walker, and they have these insane, ridiculous dogs. They're like Romanian mountain beasts or something. I don't know the
Whoa.
exact name, but these are like mastiff-sized dogs, like very, very large dogs. Well, one gets loose,
Mm-mm.
attacks the French bulldog, attacks my mother, doesn't like attack my mother like mauling her, but like this is a huge dog. My mother's trying to protect the little dog. My mother's in the mix. The big dog's trying to lift up apparently or something, the little dog in its mouth and squishing its body. Um so we have a dog attack. So my aunt comes in with the dog before I knew about what was happening into the kitchen, and she's got the dog. It's all covered in slime, like covered in slime. And I was like, "What's going on?" Oh, the dog got loose. Blah. And then I see she's got this rag and it's all red. I was like, "Well, somebody bleeding? Is the dog bleeding?" She's like, "Oh, your mother's bleeding." I was like, "Okay, well, like,
What?
so there's a dog attack." So we go outside. I go my mother. So luckily, it was just like cuts on her hand, but it's a dog. It wasn't really clear if her dog bit her or the big dog bit her. There was wasn't clear what happened there. So we sent my mother and my aunt. My aunt takes my mother to the emergency room. Ultimately, tried to do urgent care. Oh, they're all closed because Thanksgiving. So she went to the emergency room. The dog is acting all wacky, not bleeding, but like not seeming right. So we kind of gave whatever. My mother comes back from the emergency room. They actually handled her really quick at the emergency room. So that was nice. She comes back from the emergency room. They gave her antibiotics. They glued up her hand
Mm.
from like a couple small cuts on there. She has dinner when she gets back. So that part's nice. We gave the dog the night. He still wasn't really eating right and was acting weird the next day. So we found a 24/7
Oh,
emergency room for dogs.
which costs
Uh,
$1 million,
which,
just so
so,
you know.
so that's what I thought it was going to be. But I have to say, it was $300, which
Oh,
for emergency room dog
less than a
visit,
horse. I'll say
less than
that.
a horse. Like I thought it was going to be like, well, this has to be like $2,000, right? So
Yeah.
the dog's okay, probably a little bruised, but he's actually come back from that. So that's okay. In the middle of all this, I'm obviously dealing with the neighbors, who these neighbors are highly irresponsible in various ways over the years, but it's just another element to that. So they agreed to pay for any of the bills, which
Good.
which I was like, obviously, they
Sounds like
paid the
that vet bill might have
$300.
been $800
I
maybe? Are we
should have
bumping
upped
yeah, we
it.
bumping that up a little
Well,
bit?
my mother doesn't like any drama, so she's like, "Just don't even do any of it." And I'm like, "No, I need to deal with the neighbors because if nothing else, I want them to feel some pain here so that they will then take some more
Yeah.
responsibility because this dog, it's not a little dog. Like, it could have killed my mother, right? Like, forget if on purpose. Forget the a mauling. It's just a huge ass dog
Right.
running around on the loose, and it's just knocks over an old lady, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because
It's
it's
not great.
on the loose. So, and nowadays dogs aren't on the loose very much, so it's not acclimated. It's not good with people. It's not good with other dogs because it's just when we were kids, dogs just roam free a lot, whatever. But like now, that's not how it works. So that was my crazy Thanksgiving. It all worked out okay. Everybody's okay. Dog's okay. Mom's okay. But it was just like a lot of
This
drama,
is
just
a
dealing with
real yeah,
neighbors.
going to the emergency room on Thanksgiving Day,
That's a real one.
that's the real deal,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That
That's
I'm
real.
I'm glad she's okay. That could have been so much worse if
Yeah.
that dog had lost its mind and was attacking the dog and then decided I'm gonna attack the lady too. Like, oh,
And
dude.
it's like a whole scary situation because like she was just in our front yard, which we have a pretty big yard. We have a 4 acres our house is on, and it's a pretty big front yard. And this dog's coming from the neighbor's house, which has like 3 or 4 acres. And so this huge dog
Oh,
got
it's
loose and is
full
like
head of steam.
full head of steam across, an acre of land to like to
It
attacks or
thinks it's
whatever.
back in Romania and it's gonna
Right.
take down some
Yes.
wildlife. No way.
Yes. And we live in this cul-de-sac, not dissimilar from your cul-de-sac, but more land, I think.
Yeah,
And
a little bit dissimilar, but yeah.
in that
Yeah.
regard. And you know, the neighbor has these two Romanian giant dogs. This was the female. The male is even bigger. And they have chickens. And it's like they're just in it's like, okay, that's fine. I don't even care. But
Sounds
like
kooky, yeah.
just keep your shit together on whatever. If if you need dog walkers, then you gotta train them because this is not like a beagle. This it's a
Yeah.
freaking huge dog. It's a
The
200-pound dog. Like you gotta make sure your shit's straight with the 200-pound dog.
I
So
know that that dog got away from the walker or whatever. I was at the park with the kids the other day, and
mhm.
a dad comes to the park with his kid and their dog is off the leash,
Yeah,
just like
off the leash
running around.
yeah.
And I know I'm like, whatever, uppity bougie dad, but I'm like, hey, it's illegal to have your dog off the leash. Put your goddamn
Oh, in
dog on the
Texas? You
leash.
can't tell somebody that. It's
Oh, I
Texas.
did. I didn't
Oh,
say it like
man.
that. But
Yeah.
the dog was running around, and one of my children was very scared. Obviously it was a doodle. It was a golden doodle.
Yeah, of course. That's what they all
Of
are.
course, that's all we have down here. And the dog was running around, and I've got 4 kids, 4 and under, and one of them was just terrified of this dog, and for no valid reason except that it's a big, stupid, goofy looking dog,
Yeah.
sprinting
Yeah.
around the children's
Yeah,
park.
that's scary, right?
And the kids running up to me and crying, and I just said, "Hey man, would you mind putting your dog on a leash?" And like he was like, "Sure, yep, I can do that. Sorry about that." And he like went out of the park with his dog and went and played with the dog. And I'm like, okay. Um, but yeah, down here it is like 100% illegal to have your dog off the leash,
Yeah, I
and
mean, same here.
people do it all the time, and it drives
Yeah.
me nuts. I'm like, listen, I don't care if your dog is nice. I am sure that your dog is lovely. But my child, like my child's eye level is below your dog's eye level. Right. And so if this dog sees a squirrel and takes off running, he's just gonna barrel through my
Right,
child. And like, I'm sure he didn't mean to do it, but still, this is
right.
a kid's park. Put your dog on a leash.
That's the part. I love this is like kind of what we were talking about before. I love the lack of self-awareness. Like I wish I had this lack of awareness or
Yes,
caring
totally.
for the other people. It's like, oh, my kid's beating on your kid at the park. Oh, I don't care. Like I always dislike that. I'm sure you see, right? It's like I have to parent the other
Right.
kids. I hate that. It's like you're watching your kid beat up on my kid.
Right.
Like, why are you not the one stepping in? Why am I the one stepping in? And the same thing with like, yes, let's bring my dog to the child park, which is fine. You're going for a walk, but then I'm going to let it loose with the kids. It makes no sense. Like, why am I
Yes.
doing?
It's like
Why do I even want the responsibility? What if it takes some kid's eye out
I
completely by
know.
accident?
I know.
Now you're getting sued, and for what? So
Yes.
your dog could run around at a children's park. Why? It doesn't make any sense.
We did have a great interaction at a park. We were at a different
Okay.
park. Went to a lot of parks, man. We
Okay.
got to get out of the house.
When you got the time
Thanksgiving.
off, you got
Oh,
to. Yeah.
dude. Thanksgiving week it's merely preparation for Christmas break. I don't know what we're going to do. But we went to a lot of parks. Went to one park, and we're taking scooters and little fake lawnmowers and little
Oh, I
tricycles.
love
We're
it.
just like, the van is
Load
full
it
of
up.
crap.
Yeah.
We're at the park, and the kids almost immediately abandon all their toys. And some other kid walks up and grabs one of, like, I don't know, it was like the scooter, the push lawnmower or something. And I'm standing near it, and I hear the other mom say, "Hey, you can't use that. That's not your toy." And I'm like, "Oh,
Mm.
that's amazing." And I walk over and I say, "You can absolutely use it. The rule for
Yeah.
our kids is if you bring it to the park, you have to be prepared to share because other kids are going to want to use it." And
Right.
so her saying, like, "Child, this is not your toy. You're not allowed to use that." Great. Absolute
Yes.
solid behavior. Wonderful job. They don't know my
Yes.
rules. And then me saying, "No, no, no. The rules are your kid is totally allowed to use it. Have
Yes.
fun.
That
Enjoy." It was
seems
like,
a
what
great
what
interaction.
a great society we're living
Yes.
in. This is great.
That's
Great
a proper
news.
society. Yes,
Yeah,
there's
it was
still a few normal
wonderful.
humans out there.
Yes,
There's
it
few
was
and far
great.
between, but
I was just so like, this is good. Yeah, we're doing it. We're all out here just trying to freaking make it, and we're doing our best. And it was great. It was great. So
that's
a
awesome.
lot of good park interactions over the holiday break.
I do miss the just let's all bring the kids to the park. Like when the kids are young enough that that's an entertaining hour
Oh
or
man,
2, and it's like, just go to the
spent
park.
so long at the park.
That's so good. It goes away fast, and they don't wanna go to the park anymore, and
I know.
then you're trying to, like, invent stuff to do, whereas, like, the park is just like, "No, you just go to the park. It's just
Go to
there.
the
You could
park
jump
and
around."
become best friends with this person and never learn their
Yeah.
name and never see them again.
Just
That's
have
how it works.
single serving friend. It's
Oh,
great.
it's incredible. It's
Yep.
so fun to watch them, like, run around with this stranger and be like, "No, you go up here. No, I'm gonna go here. No, you do this." And then you get
Yep.
in the car and you're like, "What was your friend's name?" "I don't know." "Oh,
We had
cool."
a couple really amazing interactions with the kids. I talked about before, we took the big trip to Europe like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever, and we were there for 3 months. And a couple ones I remember specifically, there's like my middle kid who was like 7 or 8, super into soccer at the time. Like he's in one of these Parisian parks and he just picked up another kid and they just played soccer the whole time. They like didn't even speak the same language and it was
Incredible.
great. And then my daughter, who was 5 at the time, same thing, like, picked up a little girl, this was in Italy, and they just played for, like, an
Yep.
hour, couldn't speak to each other, they just the universal language of play, and it was
Yep.
so cool. It's just like,
And
yep, that's
then,
great.
you grow up, and if you use the wrong JavaScript framework, you're my enemy. Things
That's
just change. It just
that's true.
changes. It's just so
Oh,
crazy.
yeah,
All right, you
yep.
got a JMac on here. What's going on there?
Oh, JMac had follow-up that, he's also been on a childlike server for the entire time that Shift has existed,
The
and he
creator of
wanted to
Laravel
play.
Shift, a proper
Yes.
business product that makes US dollars, has been running on a childlike
Yes.
DigitalOcean server.
No, I don't totally agree with him. He said it's been on a
I agree.
$20, whatever, DigitalOcean or one of those, which is already not the smallest one, right? So he's
I
at the,
agree.
like, 2 or 3 times up. He's also only his marketing site, it's not his
I
whole
agree.
app.
Yeah,
Um,
he said he
yeah,
spawns queue workers at scale, and I'm like,
right.
okay, well that's different.
Yeah, so he's got the whole and the marketing site is all super Cloudflared. So, like, we're
Yeah,
kinda past the, like, yeah, of course, you can definitely run it on that. If it's all super optimized, of course, fine. So but I just wanted to get his feedback in. I like JMac, and he wanted to put a word in for the people with the childlike servers that you know they're out there and they're successful. You don't
yep.
necessarily have to go all the way to 80, possibly, but
Got a
it's a little
lot of
different.
got a lot of people love the childlike server bit
I do
from
love that. It's come up a few times.
the
Um,
mid episode resize was a good shtick
but I would say
there.
proof is in the pudding. Like at the end of the day, we fixed it by just
Oh
spending an
yeah,
extra $60. So
let's look at nightwatch.laravel.com and
hmm,
see what that chart
yeah,
looks like.
how are we looking over there?
I think we're looking pretty good. Let's see. One thing
Mm,
I got a bone to pick with just one thing with Laravel.
Jess
Maybe
Archer.
maybe it's a one password bone to pick.
Oh,
Every time one password saves my password for any Laravel product,
mm,
whether it's forge.laravel, nightwatch, cloud. It always saves it as Laravel. And I think that's because it's always on the
mm.
subdomains or something. But
Yes,
I've got in one password, I've got like
agree.
8 logins that just say Laravel. And it's like, is this Nova from 4 years ago? Or is
You are
this
totally right. I
Nightwatch?
have
Yeah.
seen the same thing. I always now I go in and edit them, like, right when how it pops up you can edit it in
Yeah.
place there, and I just, like, give it a little parentheses. Yeah, whatever, Forge or whatever.
No, it
But
can't
yes, that is
possibly be
true.
a me problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a you problem.
Okay,
That's
good.
a title tag, I guess, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if one password gives you the ability to hint what it should actually be saved as, or if it just goes to like the full domain. But the Nightwatch dot, Laravel, Cloud, Forge, Nova, Envoyer, all of them are just saved. Spark, and Vapor, they're all just saved as Laravel.
Probably just, like, the auth layout or whatever, like, just using Laravel and the
Yeah,
title tag on
maybe.
all of them. They've never updated it. It's gotta be from the title tag, I think, because it gets all these other websites right.
Yeah, but the title tag of Nightwatch dot Laravel is Nightwatch, you
But
know.
on the
Um,
auth page?
oh, that's a good question. I will say I'm looking at the chart now, and the response time just fell off a cliff after I resized, and it's just stayed super low. So, yeah, that's a win for Ian. So good job, Ian. The head on nightwatch.laravel.com sign up says the title just says sign up. That's it.
Mm.
Just sign up.
I wonder
So
if that like, does 1Password maybe have a little algorithmic stuff going on where it's like, "Oh, if this is a useless title
right,
tag, I'll just grab the domain,"
it's a good
maybe?
question. It
Or
is
maybe
a
it's always
good
grabbing the domain. I don't think that's true, but maybe it is true, and then so since they're always on subdomains with the Laravel stuff,
right.
it, is ignoring the subdomain?
This is also kind of
Like,
interesting. I opened the console to look at the source of Nightwatch, and I see
mm.
uncaught error, minified React error, number 418, react.dev. Yeah, yeah. Well, that sounds about right.
Well, presumably that's been fed back into Nightwatch and,
Presumably,
yeah,
and I'm
they're
sure
on
they'll
it.
have it fixed in no time.
See, even Laravel has JavaScript errors.
Do we have anything else, Ian?
I don't know. You wanna give us a little database school update? I don't know
I'll
if you
give
have
you a
any
little
just
database school update.
how's it going?
Um, it's going well.
Okay.
Good feedback on the site. Some things that need to be fixed.
Mhm.
Couple of who's what's it, some niceties, a couple of layout things that need to be fixed. People are liking the
Okay.
course.
Good.
Um, I see the Stripe payout numbers come through, and I don't see like signups or revenue or anything. Partially to insulate myself.
Mhm.
And the payouts look good. So it seems like
Okay.
the Black Friday coinciding with the intro to Postgres with the new site,
Mhm.
all that working together. Payouts are definitely up, and so feeling confident about that. Um, and I turned Claude loose on finishing the last maybe 10% of the playgrounds feature. And so
Mhm.
that's in testing by me right now. So I've got playgrounds, I've got I need to get the file downloads merged in so people can download all the SQL.
Mm.
So I feel like it's going very well. I will start the advent of SQL maybe in, I forget what I said, maybe the 12th or the 13th, something like that. So I'll work on recording some of those videos this week. And then I think I'm going to try to squeeze in a like what's new in Postgres 18 before the end of this year. And that's one of those ones
Mm.
that you and I have talked about where it's like you just do like 7 or 8 videos and that's
Right.
it. There's no pressure to do, 4 hours because you got to like justify a big
Yep.
launch. No, just do what the material demands and then we can move on. So I'm
Yep.
going to try to knock that out this month as well. So, yeah, feeling pretty good about it.
Great. That all sounds super good. I think the little mini course drops are gonna be awesome. Like,
I
just
know.
just
I'm
gonna give you stuff to talk about all the
so
time. It's
excited
gonna make
about
you feel
that.
like make the product feel updated all the time,
Yep.
all that kinda stuff.
Reason to
Um
email.
Reason to email, reason to tweet, reason to all that stuff,
Mhm.
so I think that's all good. Gotta stay on Superbase and make sure they're sending people your way. I feel like with these
I know.
contract ones,
I
like,
know.
you're gonna have they're big companies, and they get lost. They spend some money on this, but it's not actually that
Yep.
much money for them, and they're like, "Cool, we did it," and then they forget about it. It's like and I know they want you to push people to them, of course, which is part of it,
Yeah.
but
But
also, like,
contractually, they're supposed to
they
push people to us.
well,
Yeah.
even you could that's even better if you
Yeah.
contractually can enforce it, but even not contractually, it benefits them to send people to you, and people get
Yep.
better at Postgres and see their name associated with it and all the stuff. So, yeah, I would stay on that as, like, because
Yeah.
that's just, gonna be a good lead gen, I would think.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yep.
Alright, well, that sounds good.
Things
There
are
you
moving.
go. Things are moving. Did you have Thanksgiving at your house or no? You went to
My
Jennifer's
parents'
house?
house.
Your parents' house, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so no dog attacks, it sounds like, just normal
No, no
Thanksgiving.
dog attacks.
Okay,
No. It was fine.
nice.
And no politics or, we're all the
Very
same religion, so
nice.
that's fine.
There you go.
No, let's see what else is contentious.
Interreligion can sometimes be contentious, people got their different, takes on
That's true. That's
things,
true. Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's
so it was
nothing
chill.
really. It was pretty chill, yeah.
You watch football? Are you a football family? Probably not, right?
I think my family watched football. I did not watch
Okay.
any football.
Mhm.
We got there relatively early, like 9:30 in the morning, and
Mhm.
then left around 1 so we could put the kids down.
Yo.
I think
Oh,
if
wow,
once the kids
early
are old, yeah,
Thanksgiving.
once the kids are older, I'd like to do like the show up around noon and stay till,
Right.
8 or 9.
Yep.
But I think after I left, my mom loves the Cowboys, so I think they probably
Oh,
watched the Cowboys game.
fun.
And then my school, Texas A&M, played on Friday, our biggest rivals, which is University of Texas down in
Mhm.
Austin. And I didn't watch a single minute of that. But I understand we lost, which is bad because that
Oh,
breaks our
no.
undefeated streak this year, which I also understand. And I don't care. I haven't watched a minute of football in maybe 10 years, but I just don't like losing to UT because they're so arrogant. They just love beating A&M, and they're just, they think they're better than us, and I hate that for us. So if I cared, I would really care, but I don't care, so I don't really care.
I think I've talked about the football pool I'm in, right, with my son? Have I
No, I
talked
don't
about
think
this?
so.
Okay, so I'm in this football pool where it's a survivor, so you pick a game every
Okay,
week in NFL, and, it's no point spread or anything, you just pick a winner, and if your team wins, you make it to the next week, if your team loses, you're out of the whole thing,
cool, fun,
and,
easy.
so I am the finance man, I put in $200 into this pool, and my son is the picker because he's super into NFL and tracks it, and, we're down to 11 people left with, like,
Oh,
20.
you guys are running a syndicate. Like
Well, it's not a
you put the
syndicate.
money in,
Yes,
he
me and him
does
are
the
a syndicate, yes.
picks, you're representing
Yes.
yourself as a single person.
When you get out of, going to the park, okay, you gotta find other ways to
Right.
entertain yourself, and one
Yeah.
of them is gambling together,
Gambling,
and,
sure, of course, yeah,
yeah. So
definitely.
anyway, there's, like, 20 something $1,000 to the winner, and there's 11 people left.
What?
Yes, and we split 50-50, so he's got a chance to make some real money here. Yeah,
Oh,
11.
man.
This week, nobody was eliminated this week. All of us got through this week, so that was unfortunate, but we made it through, which is good. But
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Nobody was eliminated. Is it not like a head-to-head thing?
no, so it's just like
Oh, I guess
you're
everyone just
picking a
makes a
real
pick.
yeah, like we picked the Chargers this week, and if they win, we move on to next week, and if we
I
lose, we're
see.
out. So once everybody loses, except for one person, then that one person's the winner, or if everybody loses, let's say
I
there's 5 people
see.
left and everybody loses that week, then the 5 people would split the pool because 'cause you'd all be first place or whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah, that is an interesting format. I like
yeah,
that,
'cause
that's
it's just like
easy.
you just pick a winner, it's like quick.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a fantasy league or anything where you're like managing your team or whatever. It's just like and you can't pick the same team twice. So like you can't just pick, whatever, the Broncos every week. You pick a team once, you can never use them
Uh,
again. So that's how
well,
it
that's a
works.
fun twist.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hope you win $10,000.
Yeah,
I
man.
hope he
So
wins $10,000. Can you imagine being a kid and getting $10,000?
it's crazy. I
You're the
shouldn't even allow
richest
this. This
person in
is
the world.
bad parenting here for sure. But
No, this is great. Teach him, especially if he loses, teach him that he got really close and he should chase that high and try to do it again. Yeah, because
Well,
next time he'll win for sure.
as long as somebody else is paying for it, I think that's a perfectly fine
Actually,
strategy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
on the
all good
line,
on
zero
it's all
downside,
upside for
unlimited
him.
upside. That's actually
Yeah,
a good strategy. Yeah.
yep. So, all right,
All
man.
right.
Well, that's it. We'll end it on that. Thanks everybody. Thanks to new sponsors. Thanks to old sponsors. If you want to sponsor for next year, now 2026, we got a lot of openings, people. So get on it. Renew your sponsorships if you haven't yet. If you haven't sponsored at all, now's the time. And yeah, mostlytechnical.com. Follow us on all the stuff. We're up on YouTube, got the RSS feed, and we will see you next week.
And if you're a dear listener, go click on some links. Tell the sponsors thank you. We couldn't
Yes.
do this. In fact, we wouldn't do this without them. So thank you all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.